I forked two child processes, ages 4 and 2.3. Our household refrains an infinite loop of, "Daddy, read to me." Dr. Seuss is my favorite for creativity and style, so if you guys don't mind, let's walk a Seussian mile. Imagine a pub in Galway with an Irish folk sound where faster than you can drink them, everyone's buying around. That is what it's like to develop open source. You make friends with similar interests and sometimes they're Norse. Did you realize that this world would not be the truth without Cohen and Torvalds, Stallman and Knuth? The phrase open source, coined by Knuth, concedes, with purchase comes the right to customize for your needs. Cohen wrote BitTorrent, which I'm sure you have heard, whether or not you admit it, you rotten pirate, you turd. Torvalds wrote Linux and Stallman GNU, and all are incredible and benefit you. You owe a debt to Tim Berners-Lee, you with your Etsy shop selling hand-knitted bees, happily eBaying your dusty old TV, all made possible by Timmy's HTTP. Sharing is nice. After all, who doesn't like free beer? But giving away work pays $0 a year. Or does it, you say, when for jobs you impress? Does your GitHub account say that you care more or less? What's in a name? A lot, don't you know? Yeah, you can get that on Stack Overflow. Turn your name into money? Why, yes, but of course. Support open source projects as professional open source. There's also a rare breed that's willing to invest. The occasional backer will fund a feature request. So with the case now outlaid that there's money to be made, we turn our attention to intrinsic motivations in spades. Just as a batter must practice his swing, so too must you with concatenation of strings. The cones is a great way to stay as sharp as steel, but to be truly tested, a project must be real. They call it sharpening your saw, and that's not entirely wrong. Coding in public does bring pressure that's strong. Best practices, anti-patterns, and object orientation, all skills you can learn through public creation. Your brain is a muscle like your biceps and your heart. If you don't use it, you won't be as smart. I'm not calling you dumb for not sharing code, but practice your craft and your career will explode. More than 50% complete, and this talk is replete with speech that makes code sound like a project complete. But if your surname's Mahano, or you get off the same way, you writing my docs will make my damn day. We have wikis and forums and roadmaps and tests, and a contribution to any of which we're all thrilled to get. Lest we forget about bugs, even bugs about fonts, they mean you've got users, and that's all anybody wants. Don't feel bad about filing bugs as long as you're polite. I can't speak for Mike Henke, but most of us don't bite. The only thing better than a bug report pest is when your bug includes a well-written test. If it's how you roll, a blank canvas is exciting, but can be more to chew than you thought you were biting. Before starting anew, ask if your help is desired. Competition breeds innovation, but contributions are admired. A good open source project is a perfect storm in which an idea, some motivation, and ability mix, and then a baby is born with those first few commits, and much like a toddler, it'll sure test your grit. A rising tide raises all ships, as the saying often goes, so if Cold Fusion's the pool, then open source is the hose. For Cold Fusion to thrive, we must not estrange. If you want it to survive, you must be the change. True, but unfortunate, open source is dominated by guys, but we're happy to welcome anyone willing to try. Left field contributions are my favorite surprise, regardless of the hardware hidden between your thighs. Open's not free and free's not open, but that's being pedantic, and definitely a topic for another Seussian semantic. Gretzky said, "You miss 100% of shots you don't take, so if you'll allow me to adapt, we refuse 100% of pull requests you don't make." And on that note, I'm afraid I must dash. I'm dropping the mic like Adobe Drop Flash.